Have you ever been in that situation where it's absolutely miserable outside, you have no work to do, and time is just passing you by and you want to do something productive? I'm pretty sure we've all been there. So here are 5 things that I do when I'm bored that you could also implement that would help you out a lot. So let's get into it. But first, if you guys wouldn't mind, if you like this video, then please be sure to leave a like on the video. It does help. Also leave a comment. I do respond to all comments and I really do appreciate any and all feedback. And of course, if you're new around here, subscribe if you like my kind of content because I upload regularly. So the first tip is to clean out your wardrobe. Now, when was the last time you opened up your wardrobe and actually just had a look at the clothing that you wear? Now, if you've not done this in a long time meaning say 6 months, then what you'll end up finding is you'll end up noticing that you've accumulated clothes which you haven't worn in quite a long time. Now, when you see clothes that you've not worn or you don't intend to wear within a year, maybe or at least 8 months, depending on seasonal changes, then or even 6 months, I suppose if you want to look at a shorter horizon, then you could take those clothes out, you could sell them on eBay and make a little bit of money off of it. You could donate it to charity, or you could just give it away to someone else maybe, I don't know, whichever you prefer to do. And one thing I found is that when I clean out my wardrobe, it also lets me think of other outfit ideas that I want to try out. It lets me pair up different things that I wouldn't have thought about before. And it's something that's really interesting to do, and you can also see what you need to get. So let's say, for example, you've got some white t-shirts, some plain white v-necks, and they've turned all yellowy, then you know that it's time to get rid of those, and you know that you need to buy some new v-necks. So that way you can clean out your wardrobe and make sure everything that you're wearing is up to date and it's all good quality, I suppose you could say. So that's one thing that I find that really does help me. The second thing that I recommend for you to do when you're bored is to read a book. Now, there's probably been a book in your mind, or maybe you've even wanted to get into reading, and maybe there is a book in your mind that you want to read, but you've just never made the time to do so. Now is the perfect time. Because if you're bored, you have nothing to do besides maybe scrolling on your phone, watching television, but instead you could use that time more productively and get that book, book about maybe self-help, maybe that book about a novel that you really are interested in reading. Now's the time. You can read during that time period. And one thing that I do find is that it's very relaxing to do when you're reading, especially in our normal daily lives where we are so busy with all of these things around us that we normally don't have enough time to ourselves. So I find that reading is a great way to pass some time as well as being productive in some sort of way. The third thing that I recommend doing is meditation. Now, people do this in different ways. Some people prefer to, for people that aren't aware about meditation, it isn't just sitting down and going the traditional Om kind of thing. That's not it. That's what olden style meditation might have been, but when people talk about meditation now, they're often talking about controlling the breath. So taking deep breaths in and out and closing your eyes and focusing on something, that kind of thing. There are different types of meditation. For some people, it might be sitting in deep thought, eyes wide awake, just staring into space, having a massively deep thought about something, or deep contemplation about something. For other people, it's using guided meditation apps like Headspace, for example. And no, obviously I'm not sponsored. Headspace, hit me up. And what guided meditation does is you're effectively listening to someone else's instructions, so it's really easy to follow along with. It's very calming, and especially in situations where you're probably very bored, then it's a great way, I find, to stay calm and just focus on certain things. The fourth thing that I recommend doing is going and helping someone. Now, this can be someone that you live with, but it doesn't necessarily need to be constrained to that. It can go beyond that. If, for example, there's a charitable cause that you strongly resonate with, then you can go out and volunteer some of your time to help out with that cause, for example. And most charities will normally accept a volunteer. Some probably won't. I'm not sure if there are any that will not accept a volunteer, but for the majority of charities at least, they will accept your time. And the reason why I say this is because if you're bored and you don't have anything really speaking to do anyway, then giving back to other people is something that is quite productive, because you're serving something more than yourself. You're serving a greater purpose, I guess, by helping these charities or these people out. And if it is someone at home who you live with, you can also help them out there, make their life easier. They'll obviously appreciate that. So that's the fourth thing. The fifth thing is to plan tomorrow today. So effectively, let's say for example you have to get some work done the following day maybe, or you're going to school, for example, college, university, whatever it is, and you need to plan out your day, then it's a great way to pass some time by planning out how you want your day to look like. So you could start off with what time you want to wake up. You could start off with things you want to do before you go to school, college, university, your job, or start your work in your business, etc. Or it could be and it could be lead up all the way till the end of the day, or even if it's not the whole day, you could plan out your morning, or you could plan out your evening. You could plan out something, or even if that's too time constraining for you, you could also consider just planning out or setting yourself a to-do list almost of things that you want to get done. So it's not necessarily constrained by a time limitation, but it's constrained by the day limitation. So you have to get it done within that day. You don't want to drag it on to a longer time period. So that's something that I find to be quite productive, at least, and it allows me to just get a little bit of an understanding of what I actually want to do. So for example, something on my list could be go outside for a walk with an old friend, for example. That's what I used to do sometimes with one of my friends. We always used to walk near these. We used to take like about 2 hours out of the day, and we'd go for a nice long walk, and we'd have a very long conversation, and it'd be a really fun experience. So maybe things like that you could schedule in, and I feel as though that kind of planning will make you a lot happier, especially if you're planning it around with someone else, assuming that their plans are also congruent with yours, and you need to check that their schedules are similarly aligned to yours. Not entirely aligned, of course, but at least somewhat similar, because obviously you have to take into consideration their time as well. But I feel as though that is something that is really helpful to do. If you did enjoy this video, guys, be sure to smash the like button. If you're new around here, subscribe, drop a comment, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.